So, Rick, tell me about yourself.
Sure, okay. Well, I started my professional career with Best Buy, where I spent 5 years in various bricks and mortar roles, ending up as a store manager. After that, I spent 6 years at Circuit City as a store manager, a computer buyer, and finally as the first digital marketing and merchandising manager for CircuitCity.com. And I've been in e-commerce and marketing roles ever since. My professional experience consists primarily of retail operations, especially marketing, e-commerce, merchandising, and digital product management, although I do have some significant B2B experience as well. My past roles have typically included strategic planning and financial management responsibility in terms of reporting, budgeting, P&L management. My MBA program includes a concentration in finance, and I am fairly savvy financially and also somewhat financially conservative, which is probably why I've always had good relationships and enjoyed the trust of my CFOs and finance teams. Although I've never had the CMO role or title, I've been the head of marketing for two small companies, and at Jewelry Television, I led all of the marketing for each of the new digital businesses that I launched there. My leadership experience includes time as a U.S. Army officer, where I commanded multiple infantry platoons, and later served as an executive officer, or XO, in an infantry company of over 100 soldiers. I earned a letter of commendation from the governor of Wisconsin for leadership performance, which I like to read from time to time. Back in civilian life, I was a bricks and mortar store manager where I hired, trained, and managed a staff of 55, including sales staff, operations staff, and assistant managers. I earned a Manager of Distinction award while I was at Circuit City, which earned me a free trip to Florida. In my corporate roles as a buyer, merchandise manager, digital product manager, and director of e-commerce and digital marketing, I typically managed teams ranging from 11 to 19 people who were buyers, merchandisers, web designers, and developers, photographers, digital marketers, and project managers. I've also managed the relationships with digital agencies, product vendors, freelancers, and cross-functional teams on many different projects. Since 2008, I've maintained a mostly part-time sideline freelance consulting business where I coach small business owners on marketing and e-commerce related topics, serving as a fractional CMO to some of them. It's been very enjoyable to me for me to transfer some of the knowledge that I've gained from my big company experiences in terms of processes or best practices to some of these small business owners. But I'm now at a point where I want to get away from consulting entirely. Switching gears to education, I have an undergraduate double major in marketing and political science. I also earned an MBA from Virginia Commonwealth University, VCU, with concentrations in marketing, finance, and real estate. And I earned a Master's of Science degree in marketing from Indiana University's Kelley School of Business, a program that consists of 11 marketing-related courses, which I think shows how interesting I think marketing is and how I'm fascinated by consumer behavior. I am planning on getting a third master's degree in marketing analytics from Penn State because I'm a glutton for punishment. So a few personal comments to wrap up. I grew up on a farm in Wisconsin, so yes, I'm a pretty down-to-earth guy, and yes, I've driven tractors, and yes, I've milked cows, and no, I've never tipped a cow over. I'm pretty competitive. I played a lot of football, baseball, basketball, and tennis growing up. I'm a diehard Green Bay Packer fan and a stockholder. Um, Former infantry officer, I mentioned earlier, I jumped out of airplanes and helicopters and lots of other cool stuff like that. And lastly, my wife and I are both crazy dog owners. We've had many dogs and even a few cats and plan on having many more.